notice for the next couple of hours are the increase in cloud coverage and maybe a few isolated rain showers that move through. But here's what we're watching off to the west. What this is going to do, this particular system, it's going to clash with an area of extremely cold air that's going to be moving further towards the south. And that's what's going to bring that opportunity for the potential for some snow in some locations across the region. And of course, that freezing rain potential that we've been talking about the past couple of days as well. What's going to work in our favor, though, here for majority of us across the Tennessee Valley is once this area of low pressure that we're tracking off to the west, as it starts to move more eastward, it's going to bring in a little bit of warmer air from the Gulf, and that's going to keep us above that freezing threshold. Now, we're still going to be downright cold either way. One thing you probably have noticed today, too, are the winds. They are going to be increasing as this low pressure system continues to grow closer to us here, and we're going to keep the wind speeds in the forecast through tomorrow and through much of the day on Sunday as well. But that also could possibly work in our favor, but I'll get to that in just a moment. So Memorial Parkway, we're pretty busy right now heading into this lunchtime hour. Governor's Drive, not too bad. We're dry. That's really all that matters at this point, is that roadways aren't an issue with precipitation. So temperatures right now, we are going to start to warm up heading into the afternoon, but we are a little colder on the western side. 41 right now in Florence. We're sitting at 38 in Pulaski, 47 degrees here in Huntsville, 46 in Arab. And notice Fort Payne, almost to 50 degrees in Scottsboro is already at 50 degrees. So we will continue to see the temperatures climb heading into the next couple of hours. I think for the most part, we'll probably top out in the upper 40s for the afternoon. Now we've got weather impact alert days in place Saturday through Monday, and this is due to the fact that we still have that opportunity for wintry precipitation to move through, particularly on Saturday and into much of the day on Sunday. So you need to go ahead and download the FOX54 app. We're going to be doing numerous FOX54 Plus streams throughout the day today, into tomorrow, and even into Sunday as well, so that way that we can bring you guys the latest information as we receive it. So we've got a lot going on across the area. We've got a mix of winter weather advisories, winter storm watches, winter storm warnings, even got an ice storm warning for much of Mississippi that stretches all the way down through portions of Louisiana and even into the eastern side of Texas. Here for us, though, once we bring it in closer so you can see what the inside of the Tennessee Valley looks like, that ice storm warning is going to be in effect for Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin counties. Those are the areas that we're going to be focused on the most heading into tomorrow and into Sunday for that freezing rain accumulation to be a possibility. Now, the rest of us across the Tennessee Valley, with the exception of Giles County, we are under a winter storm watch. Giles County is under a winter storm warning. Us being in this winter storm watch just means that we could potentially have freezing rain and a mix of snow and maybe even sleet move through as this rain moves through. It's really all going to be dependent on how far north that warm air can reach. As of right now, it is going to be working in our favor for the most part across the Tennessee Valley. So for today, we are expected to stay dry. We maybe could squeeze out an isolated shower or two across the area, but for the most part, we're dry. We're not expected to see the beginning of this system until we get to early Saturday morning. So this is 3 a.m. Saturday, and that's when we're going to start to turn our focus to Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin counties. Notice the temperatures. We're in the low 20s in some locations, but upper 20s for the most part, low 30s on the eastern side of the Tennessee Valley. That's because we're going to start to see that cold air trickle in just a little bit. We're really not going to see it move in until Sunday. So this is when we could potentially have a little bit of freezing rain move through. So early tomorrow morning, that's going to be a possibility for everyone across the Tennessee Valley, just because we will see air temperatures a little below freezing, but we quickly are going to rise above freezing, and heading into the afternoon, much of this is expected to be rain. So notice really areas along and west of I-65, that's where we could possibly still see a little bit of freezing rain rain in the mix, and I do think that we will see freezing rain accumulation off to the west of I-65 as well. That's why we're particularly focused the most. And of course, on the eastern side, we've got what we would call cold air damming. It's when we have a little bit of cold air that moves from the east into the west. So that's why we're also going to be focused on Scottsboro area, Fort Payne, so Jackson, DeKalb counties could see a little bit of accumulation there as well. And of course, our higher terrains across the Tennessee Valley, so Montesano, for example, could see a little bit of accumulation. So we're still dealing with mostly widespread rain heading into Saturday night. Temperatures are going to be a little above freezing enough to where we're seeing for the most part rain. Now we are expected to continue to see rain through early Sunday morning because temperatures are going to be above freezing then as well. But we could even see a little bit of wintry precipitation mixed in with this rainfall. All that matters is that our surface temperatures and our ground temperatures are above freezing. That's when we start to have those issues of freezing rain accumulation, snow accumulation, things like that. But I do think for the most part of this system, it's looking like majority of it is going to be rain, but like I mentioned earlier, the western side of the Tennessee Valley, that's going to be on that outer line of freezing rain and rain, the divide between it. So that's why we're going to watch them closely. I do think that they could see a little bit of freezing rain accumulation throughout the weekend. So that's what I'm going to show you right here. And now some of these areas, these totals that you're seeing are areas that do have a little bit of a higher terrain. So this doesn't mean that the city of Arab is going to be seeing a little bit of freezing rain accumulation. This just means that areas around it could see a little bit of freezing rain accumulation. Not expected to see any here in Huntsville. You can kind of see just exactly how that warm air is expected to rise into the Tennessee Valley, but like I mentioned earlier, western side is where we're going to be focused on, as well as the eastern side. So it's really going to be very scattered in nature, freezing rain accumulation that we could see, but our issues, I think, for the most part, are going to be coming Sunday night into Monday. Once all of the rain and wintry precip that we see is said and done, we drop below freezing on Sunday, and we don't rise above freezing until Tuesday afternoon. So freezing rain accumulation, it looks to be for the most part off to our north and off to our west. So portions of northern Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, much of Tennessee expected to see freezing rain accumulation. This is through about Monday. Now, we're not expected to see snow accumulation out of this. Yes, we could potentially see some flurries mix in with the rainfall, but we're not expected to see widespread accumulation. That's also going to be well off to our north. Notice Kentucky seeing a lot of accumulation, portions of Oklahoma, looking like Arkansas area, Missouri going to be seeing a good amount of snow accumulation. But we're not expected to see widespread snow accumulation, anything like that here as the system moves through. Now, this system has a lot of dynamics with it. Not only is it going to be bringing snow, freezing rain, sleet, rain to portions of us here across the eastern side of the United States, but it even does come with a small risk for severe weather for the southern portion of Alabama, for Mississippi, and for Georgia, because we will have that moisture that's going to be rising from the Gulf. It's going to be moving northward. So they're going to be watching for a small tornado threat heading into Sunday, while we are going to be dealing with very cold temperatures and a very cold rainfall. So road temperatures heading into Friday, so this is tonight, we're expected to be above freezing. So tonight not going to be an issue for majority of the day. On Saturday in most locations, road temperatures are going to be above freezing, like mentioned earlier. Western side, so really along and west of I-65, that's where we're expecting majority of the issues to occur. Florence's road temperature, Russellville's road temperature expected to be around 28. Now this is give or take, this is just a model, but this is just to put it into a little bit of perspective why that freezing rain is expected to accumulate on the northwestern side of the Tennessee Valley. So heading into Sunday morning, temperature is actually going to warm up a little bit because we will have that warm, moist air moving in from the Gulf. It's going to trend northward. So that's why we will start to see an increase in air temperatures and road temperatures heading into the afternoon. But watch what happens Sunday night. We are going to tank. We are going to sink like you're throwing a rock in water. That's how fast this cold air is going to be moving in. So road temperatures heading into late Sunday night, early Monday morning expected to be in the 20s and even teens. So any leftover precipitation that we have on roadways, especially bridges and overpasses, are expected to freeze. So we are expected to see patchy black ice across most of the Tennessee Valley. Now here's our winter impact index for Sunday. This kind of takes into consideration of what this impact is going to be for life in general. So roadways, just how bad this system could potentially be in the way of keeping us inside of the house. So we are expected to see major to moderate impacts heading into Sunday for western side. So that's what we are going to reiterate a lot on, is the western side, because Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin counties, they are included in that ice storm warning. Now it becomes very, very patchy once we get along and east of I-65, with the exception of portions of Jackson and DeKalb counties, those higher terrains, the higher elevation. That's why they could have those issues on that area once we start to get that cold air damming moving in from the east. It's going to be moving east to west, the cold air damming. That's basically what it is. So widespread, limited issues with major to moderate issues along and west of Interstate 65. So here I want to wrap everything up together pretty much of what I said. Wintry mix is expected to arrive early Saturday morning on the western side of the Tennessee Valley, so northwestern corner. So Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin counties are expected to start to see that freezing rain move in early tomorrow morning. As temperatures warm throughout the day, most areas across the Tennessee Valley are expected to see rain and will continue to see rain. I'm thinking later half of Saturday morning, so heading into the 10 o'clock hour into lunchtime hours. And throughout the rest of the day on Saturday, most areas are expected to see just a very, very cold soaking rainfall. I think where we're going to focus on the most, and this is probably where we'll see the most impacts, because everywhere across the Tennessee Valley is expected to see temperatures drop well below freezing, and we're not expected to rise above freezing until we get to Tuesday afternoon. So late Sunday night, we see our air temperatures drop below freezing, we see our road temperatures drop below freezing, and we stay that way through much of Monday and even through the morning hours of Tuesday. So that's where we're going to have to watch for any leftover areas of frozen precipitation that could potentially pose an issue to roadways, especially bridges and overpasses. So once again, we're going to be watching this closely as this arrives early Saturday morning. And of course, we're going to continue to bring you updates all across Fox 54 platforms. We're actually going to be doing a newscast right around 3 o'clock. That's when we'll have the latest updates for you. But until then, we're just going to stay behind the scenes and watch everything closely. And of course, if we have any new information that comes in, we will be sure to push it out.